Welcome everyone to the 2019 Lexus NX300 F Sport. Once again, many thanks go out to Lexus of Royal Oak that were able to make this review possible. All of their information is linked in the description down below. We are in the top of the line F Sport, the Series 3. So everything that you are looking at is packed to the brim of what this Lexus NX has the capability of being. We have all the technology you'd expect, but I want to come back to that later because what I really want to start on with this review is the looks. This is taking potentially place number 3 for the best looking SUV slash crossover on sale today. I love the look of this thing. The F Sport really brings a character to this car. It is hard edged, but you've got these flowing lines. If you look in the wing mirror, you can see one line that kind of goes over the door handle and then move over slightly. You can see that wheel arch flowing down and out. The big black mesh grille is massive, and that 3-bulbed LED is such a sharp look. I really genuinely love the look of this thing. What we're looking at here is a single twin scroll turbocharged 4-cylinder 2-liter engine. It has 235 horsepower and it is hooked up to a 4-wheel drive system. You have different driving modes: Eco, Normal, Sport S and Sport S Plus. The Sport S Plus is an F Sport exclusive feature. I couldn't tell you much of a difference between Normal Sport and Sport S. When you're driving this car, it's probably best to just keep it in Normal. Eco numbs the throttle a bit too much. But as we're talking about what the F Sport gives you, let's go through it. So like I said, you have those unique exterior looks. You'll get the black wing mirrors. These 18-inch wheels are exclusive to the F Sport. Then on the inside, you'll have the F Sport exclusive wheels. So that gives you these paddles behind to change the car's 6-speed transmission manually. You can do that just with the shift lever like you can in any other car. But if I'm putting it in manual, I'm leaving it to these paddles. It responds fairly well, but don't expect the most rapid of shifts from this gearbox. These seats are a unique feature to the F Sport, and I love this color combination in this car. The red and the black. There is a right amount of color in this car. If they were to extend the red over the dashboard, I think it would be a bit too much for the eyes. In the rear, I think to brighten up that space a bit, it is fairly dark back there. Adding a little more red wouldn't go amiss. And then this metallic trim that you have along here, it's textured and it reminds me of a snake skin. If a snake was made out of metal, this is what it would feel like. But the soft touch plastics up here and the leather on the front of the dashboard is just incredible. The stitching is flawless. All the materials are top class. You could search for some harder plastics down here at the bottom of the door cards, but I think that's to be expected, really. And it really does feel like a car that can justify its $57,000 price tag. The backlit timepiece is one of my absolute favorite features in almost all Lexus vehicles. I like how the buttons are laid out up here. It's a very easy movement from the steering wheel to these buttons. They're all thin, but they're all really solid. You really have to put the effort in to make something out of it. Another quality feature. Got a heads-up display available as well. It's on its brightest setting right now, but I don't think it's bright enough. I would like more out of it. You can change around what information is displayed or just turn it off entirely. And I didn't even mention this. We have these open screw heads that have Lexus written into them. I'm highly doubtful that they actually screwed this interior together. But that's a really interesting touch. I really like that. This NX F Sport lacks a feature that you would find in pretty much every other F Sport, and that's the digital dash. We don't have that here. We just have the tack on the left and the speedo on the right with the 4.2-inch screen in the middle. That is a bit of a shame. I really would like to see that feature here. This car has ample performance, but it's not a driver's SUV. The steering is heavy, but no real connection to the road. And although the 235 horsepower is enough to get you out of any troublesome situation, It's not neck snapping. When it comes to these front seats, they are heated and ventilated in the F Sport Series 3. You'll start off with a smaller 8-inch screen with the NX, but when you move up, you'll be able to get the 10.3-inch screen that also comes with the Lexus Infotainment System, which is their newest offering. It's a touchpad. Now, I've had complaints in the past regarding the mouse pad that they use. It's a little difficult to learn, but this one I don't feel the same way, because it's much easier to just slide your finger across this glass panel, and it's incredibly responsive, and it has taptic feedback, so it knows when you're hooking onto something. So sliding over the the sound settings here, I can feel it moving. It just gives a little vibration, and I like that. And the resolution and the graphics on this screen is totally different. There's this beautiful background silhouette of these, I suppose they're bubbles or dots, I don't know what exactly they're meant to be, but as you move from side to side, they react and they flow. And when you go to the side display, it looks like glitter is bleeding off of the sides as you're about to click down and select something. No Apple CarPlay or Android Auto with this system though. Other features that are packed in with this car, we have a heated steering wheel, a power liftback, the 360-degree cameras, and the parking sensors. If you go further up in the range, that's when you'll find the blind spot monitoring system that we have in this car, and then a really clever hiding spot for your sunglasses. You don't have a spot up here like you would expect. Instead, you have this little compartment which you can lift up, and it's a mirror, and then you can hide your sunglasses in this little cubby down here. I think that's a great idea. And then the wireless phone charger is actually hidden in the glove box. I would prefer it to be out in the open, but there really isn't much space available. You have this clever compartment hidden away right here for exactly the purpose of resting your phone. But there isn't too much space out here. You'll have your cup holders, you have that hidden storage, and storage, of course, and door cards. Not too much space. I'd like a little more down there. Now, this NX is related to the Toyota RAV4, and if you have them side by side, you can clearly see that they are related. But if not, if you didn't know that this was based upon a RAV4, I don't think you would be able to easily tell. The layout for the interior is totally different. The exterior has its own design and its own character. When it comes to highway driving, this NX is very quiet. I'm very impressed with that. I think it moves around just a tad too much. I imagine the F Sport version is a little different to what the regular NX is. Perhaps this ride's a little stiffer. It's got larger wheels. I imagine that contributes to the difference in ride quality. When it comes to the rear seats, I would probably give it a struggle factor of 5. The biggest problem though is that the glass doesn't go all the way down, so you can't rest your arm out on the windowsill. That's always annoying. When I sit behind myself, you can see that I'm just making do, don't have too much room to move around, but you can actually pivot the seats slightly. You've got the handle on the side, which you would lower to make a flat floor if you were loading something big into the trunk. And then you can fold out that armrest to try and make it a little comfier. If you were carrying in 4 average size adults for a trip, I'm sure it would be fine, but 4 6-footers, maybe you should look on sizing up. When you're looking in the compact space and the competitors that this NX comes against, I would say that you should really consider owning this NX. It's remarkably quiet. The build quality is fantastic. It's definitely not the most engaging car you can buy in this class. If you're in the market to buy a compact crossover, I think you should really consider owning this Lexus NX 300 F Sport. Once again, many thanks go out to Lexus of Royal Oak that were able to make this review possible. All of their information is linked in the description down below.